Hello and welcome to this episode of The Guido Goes Off. This is a subject that's been covered, of course, and I was going to do a show earlier, but as John Lennon said, life is what happens when you're busy making plans. It's no secret, it's been out there for almost 24 hours now. WWE has announced that Paige has been suspended for 60 days for her second violation of their talent wellness policy. As everybody knows, this is within 6 weeks of her first suspension. So we all know what happens when going forward. If there's a third violation, Paige's contract will be terminated by WWE. Now, interestingly enough, this time it's a lot more sketchy. The first time, as she said, again, we never get WWE's side on this, but as she said, it was due to the fact that she missed her scheduled testing appointment. For those of you that don't know, and believe it or not, I actually spent about a good solid hour and a half of my day off reading WWE's wellness policy. I know this sounds really bad, but I want to get things right. I don't want to be first. I don't need to be first. I need to be right. In the first instance, she said she missed her testing appointment. I did read as I said, I read the wellness policy. According to that, once notified, you have 2 hours to make your testing appointment. From what I understand, she was supposed to report to the there's places where aside from the live events where they have the testing, you can, I guess, test at the Aegis headquarters in Nashville, or you can test at the Performance Center. As Paige was not in Orlando or at an event or in Nashville, she tried making the appointments, but again, that's what happens. So, in this case, from what I'm understanding, again, her parents have chimed in. They're very upset with this. From what I'm understanding, it was due to a substance that was due to a painkiller that was banned under the wellness policy. Now, here's the situation. Even if it's banned, if you have a prescription and there's a sheet with the talent's information, the doctor's informing them, this is why I prescribed it, this is what's going on, all that, yes, it is covered. Or it then is not a violation. However, in reading this, I did find out that if you are using a prescribed drug, that is banned by the wellness policy, even if you have a doctor's, even if all the paperwork has been filed on it, you cannot take it for more than 60 days. Otherwise, you are in violation. If you do, apparently you're in violation. Like I said, you can only get that by reading this. And like I said, I read this. I don't know why, but I read this thing. So, again, as we all know, Paige has been dealing with multiple, with what we believe to be anything from a back injury, a back plus shoulder injury, a back plus shoulder plus neck injury. From what I am understanding, surgery is a possibility still. But she's not gone through that. My guess is she's been trying to rehab it, and it's been very painful for her, hence why the doctor prescribed these painkillers. And they went through the channels. Now, Paige isn't one to take things lying down. As we all know, she is very outspoken when she feels that anyone has been wrong, especially herself. And so as we, she took to Twitter, bringing it up now, saying that for the first couple, Her last couple of tweets. The first being, same shit, different day, kids. Please don't get prescriptions or doctor's notes. Not acceptable. And also, rules apply depending on your status. More than likely, that little barb came from the fact that we know of several other superstars who have been able to, who have kept their job despite violating the wellness policy. Notably Randy Orton, who we know has had 11, count them, 11 violations of WWE wellness policy, but we also know he's Triple H's boy. So he's been able somehow to keep his job even though he's violated the policy multiple times. And of course we also know about Brock Lesnar, who tested positive for a masking agent. After, it's been covered several times on multiple shows, including this one, that he's tested positive multiple times. That he's tested positive for a masking agent via the USADA drug test, which is the entity that tests UFC athletes. WWE has said that even though part-time talent is exempt from the wellness policy. Bullshit. I read the policy. It says any WWE talent it must participate in the wellness policy. It doesn't say anything about full-time talent. It doesn't say anything about, if a guy shows up like 3 times a year. No. If you are a member of WWE's talent roster and are contracted, you are susceptible to the test, including if there's a reasonable thought that you are under the influence of a banned substance. And let's face facts, he popped via the USADA, but WWE refuses to test him because if they did, they know they'd find the masking agent and they would have to suspend him per the wellness policy. So, with that in mind, we also, believe it or not, yesterday, have heard from Alberto Del Rio on the subject. I'm sorry. I guess the wrestler formerly known as Alberto Del Rio. I guess he's going by El Patron again. So, going under that, he did take to ESPN, and it's his theory that that the reason for it is not due to the violation of policy. It is due to the fact that she is still dating him. Now, again, there's so many things that apparently could have been done. In reading that policy, I understand that there's something called a therapeutic use exemption, where if it's put in by this doctor that you need it for this extended period of time, as to beyond the 60 days, as says in the policy. But then again, there's this big rigmarole, and again, WWE can say no on this. So, there are several theories running around as to why she was popped. The theory number one is overdosing. Now, I'm not saying she's, popping a handful of these things. What I'm saying is she's taking more than the prescribed amount. More than likely, she is in a lot of pain due to these injuries and trying to rehab them. If that's the case, that could be the violation. You have, as long as you're using the medicine in the way it's prescribed, the amount it's prescribed, within 60 days, you should be fine. Number two, it is not even the number two theory. It's not even a prescription drug in question. It could be something else. Again, WWE doesn't have to release what it was that got him popped. I find that very interesting because the people in question should know, and I believe this is what has Paige upset. She does know why she was popped and what the drug was, and it was a drug prescribed and what have you. Theory number 3. That the WWE is using the wellness policy as leverage against Paige. We all know, and not many of us are, and there's some of us that don't like it, the fact that Paige is dating Del Rio. WWE has made it very clear they are not happy with that fact. As we know, WWE has done everything within their power to split them up. Again, in the draft, the couple was split up in the draft. Paige drafted to Raw. Del Rio drafted to SmackDown. Then you had the wellness policy violation in mid-August by both of them. Now, again, Paige saying she missed the appointment, and Del Rio saying his was due to the fact of his testosterone replacement therapy. Again, if he had a TUE, that wouldn't be the issue. That wouldn't be an issue. But again, apparently none of this was reported whether or not he had such an exemption. But now you have this situation. Del Rio is gone. As we all know, towards the end, in the earlier part of September, I think about the week before the suspension was up, WWE released Del Rio. He had asked for his release. He would only have 2 weeks on his contract, and it was clear he wasn't renegotiating. Even though, I think prior to this whole situation, Del Rio had been offered a 6-month extension on his contract just to appear on Total Divas. As we all know, Paige is part of that show. So, again, all this to break them up. There's even the rumored conversation between between Mark Carano, the Executive Vice President of Talent Relations, and both of them. And that even it was said that Carano threatened to fire Paige if she didn't break up with Del Rio. So, here we are again. They're still dating, and 2 weeks after, basically 2 weeks after her suspension is up, she is popped again for a prescription drug, which, again, there are these loopholes, and it's basically very clear. Which is odd, because Paige had basically wanted to quit because of this, and on both sides, cooler heads prevailed, and Paige is still with the company. But here you have that she has been popped again. Is that it could be that theory that basically they're saying that WWE is making her choose between her personal relationship and her job, and that apparently they're trying to find, as legally as they can, an out if she doesn't. Because as we all know, Paige has 2 strikes. Strike 3, she's gone. So look at and that's the thing. That's why this third theory makes a lot of sense. I mean, the first 2 seem sound, due to the fact that we've seen that Paige has lost weight. She is thinner in the face. She's lost some muscle tone, and for a lot of people, this is a big issue. She has lost weight in her ass. And all of these are the signs of not just a prescription drug dependency, But again, we all know WWE has not been happy with Paige Day and Del Rio. And are they using this legal way? And trust me, it's a very thin legal way. Are they using it to basically say, if you don't break up with him, we can fire you? We found a way to do it. But again, Cage would have a strong case because, as I said before, there has been more than enough proof that they're not happy with her choice in men. And again, we have this issue where, is it this situation? I mean, we all know how vindictive Vince can be. I mean, the CM Punk situation, where not only was, he released from his contract, but he got served the papers just before his wedding. When you can do this at any point in time, you know the date he's getting married, and you serve them on his wedding day. You can give every cop out that you have, but you know damn good and well what's up, and you can say, hey, serve. This is where he's going to be. Serve him then, because we're dicks. And again, it's clear, and if it isn't because of the Del Rio situation, it could be simply put that they want Paige out of the way because they want to continue the popularity of the Horsewomen. Let's face facts. Paige has been very popular with the fans and is one of the better workers on the roster. In fact, one of the best. It could be, if she comes back, she can make these women look very bad. And they can't afford that right now, especially with all the publicity, all the horsewomen, specifically Charlotte and Sasha, have been getting as of late. I mean, they're going to put Charlotte and Sasha in the Hell in a Cell. The first time in history, which is a match Paige proposed that her and AJ could have. So that's the situation. And again, it's now 60 days. It'll be mid-December. I think someone said December 10th before when Paige's suspension is up. And clearly, it's, again, a situation of what the hell is going on. Could it be that she's, could it be that she's in a lot of pain and needs surgery to correct it? Could it be that she's under an outside influence? I mean, a lot of people don't like Del Rio. We've noticed that since she's dating him, things have gone downhill for her career-wise. Or is it the possibility that WWE is using perhaps the only way they could legally fire her for it? And we know Vince is vindictive, and we know he could probably go this route. All I can say is, more than likely, it's not fair. More than likely, it's not legal. But of all else, it's not right to use this tiny little piece of lettering in a policy and use that as leverage against somebody who you don't approve of their personal relationships, where honestly you have no fucking business. She could be dating Marvin the Martian for all you care. That is her choice. We don't like it, but we have to accept it because we have no control. And neither does WWE, for that matter. So what do you guys think of this situation? You all know my social media. You all know where the comment section is. I'm going to close this episode out this way. Again, I thank you for watching, and I hope you guys continue to watch this show, and we're going to continue to monitor this situation because I have a feeling we are far from over on this. I am the Guido, and I think we're done here.